Nevada Week recently sat down with Natalie Williams, the general manager of the back-to-back champions, to discuss thriving through an adversity-filled season, as well as what's next. Natalie Williams, welcome to Nevada Week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been about a month now since the Aces won their second straight title, defeating the New York Liberty 70-69 in Game 4 of that championship series. As the general manager of this team, responsible for constructing its roster, what did it mean to you to have bench players like Kayla George and Alicia Clark contribute in the way that they did? Players you signed.
Yep. I mean, I was just so happy for them. Alicia, both of them, Alicia and Kayla George, are incredible women, true professionals really in their craft, and both of them very different. Alicia had won 2 other championships in Seattle and one in Washington. So we knew bringing her in, she just brought incredible professionalism, experience, great three-point shooter, great defender, all things Becky Hammond loves. And then Kayla George is an Olympian from Australia, and she just came off winning an MVP in the WNBA, which is in Australia. And so I knew that when called upon, that they would do an incredible job. So I was really proud of them.
It's interesting you bring up Becky Hammond. I wonder how much you work with her on what her needs are.
A lot, and I've known Becky. Becky and I played together in the WNBA, so she's always been a great friend of mine, and getting to know her system and what she wanted was great. I mean, she loves three-point shooters. So I know when I'm going out into free agency and I'm looking at players in the college era that I've got to find someone who can at least shoot. They will make them into three-point shooters if they're not already, but also just great chemistry kids and great defenders.
Back to that Game 4, Aces are down 39-30 at the half. What are you thinking?
I actually wasn't that worried. I was pleased that we weren't down by more because we didn't seem to have had such a great first half. Some of our superstars weren't playing very well in that first half, so I knew if we came out and just changed and tweaked a little things that we had a shot.
And you know, Becky Hammond said something similar, like, we can come back from this, no problem. Yep. We've done it plenty of times before. So this is your second season as a WNBA GM. In both of your seasons, you win a title. What does that mean to you?
It's absolutely incredible. It's amazing to see, especially my first year and then this year, just all the work that goes into it behind the scenes in the front office, from our amazing marketing, our ticketing crew, our front office in Mark Davis, Nikki Fargas, Matt Delson, our CFO, just how much goes into it, our design team. You know, in marketing, we did an incredible job selling all of our amazing gear this year. So, and then our coaching staff and players. It's just an incredible effort and teamwork, and to pull it off and win the championship is very, very special.
I read an article and it talked about, I think Game 2 was at Mandalay Bay, was it? Mm-hmm. You were putting T-shirts on chairs ahead of the game.
Yes.
A GM shouldn't be doing that.
We all do it. Nikki Fargas is up there doing it because, I mean, who else is going to do it? And we also want to see that we are a team, right? It's not just the interns, and it's actually kind of fun. It's a good exercise. I just put my headphones in and lay them down. I mean, we've got to put 10,000 towels on seats, and we're happy that the community comes out and supports the Aces.
You mentioned Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders and the owner of the Aces. Off camera, you had said, "Thank you, Mark Davis." Was that, what did I ask you that led you to say that? Was it about your championship ring that you're wearing?
Yeah, this is probably one of the most incredible rings in sports history, and I think it was really important for him to go this big for these incredible women because he wanted to show that the effort that they put out and what they've done is just as important as the men.
Now, you've had some adversity this past season. Aces guard Kelsey Plum said, quote, "We've been through a lot. We've been hurt, sued, arrested, you name it, we've done it." She's talking about the numerous injuries, including to 2 starters during the championship. The lawsuit from former player De'Erica Hamby. She's alleging discrimination for being pregnant. Also, the arrest of a player on domestic violence charges. That's a lot. Of all of that, what was most difficult?
You know, Learning, and obviously my first 2 years in this role, but there's always going to be things that come up on a team. You don't want them to, but it's hard, I think, for a franchise throughout their entire, creation of the franchise to not have crazy things happen at times. And you just roll with it. You really do the best that you can at managing it behind the scenes and realizing that you still have a season and you still have players and coaches who need to do their job and everyone in the front office. So, I mean, I thought our team did an incredible job of handling everything that came at them, and especially, the coaches and the team. They just kept rolling with it and knowing they were focused on the final goal at hand.
Was there ever a time you thought, I don't know if we can come back from this one?
No, not at all. I knew the integrity of our organization, and that we are a family. We are an incredible group that cares about each other, and that our community stands behind us and knows that, one thing does not define everyone.
Of the adversity you faced, does this factor into it, A'ja Wilson not getting league MVP?
Well, we're going to say that we know A'ja was our MVP for sure, and we believe that she was MVP in the league, but A'ja is such an incredible, determined young woman that we knew this was going to just fuel the fire with her. And I felt sorry for everyone else after that, because she came out and played even better than she already was throughout the whole finals, and she was finals MVP.
Which some would argue is more important and better.
Well, and winning the championship, right? That's
right.
More important.
Right. Did it fire up her teammates as well?
I think so, because they all truly love each other and have each other's back, and they believed that she should have been MVP, so it even drove them, to be more aggressive and to play better defense and just stick together and do whatever it took to win.
So we're in the off season, but there are some WNBA players who are competing right now abroad. About how many aces are competing abroad?
Only
do you know?
2.
Only 2?
Yes. Kayla George is in Australia, and that's where she's from, and Elena Coates is in Turkey right now.
What does that indicate to you about the state of the league, that only 2 of your players are playing abroad?
Well, I think we're getting to a point where a lot of these women are having endorsements, which is great, and things that they do in the off season for that. They're also training, but we're definitely getting to a point where these women will not have to go overseas as much.
And the narrative or the reason behind them having to go overseas has been because they need to supplement their income,
yes.
right? But that's changing. According to Statista, in 2022, the average WNBA salary was about $116,000. But still, the lower end is $60,000. So you can see
yes.
why someone would need to go make some more money. What would you say is fair in this situation when people are talking about they need to be paid as much as the men do?
Well, I think it's going to take time. I mean, if you look at the beginning of the NBA, right? So we're at, starting this next season, we'll be at the 28th season of the WNBA. It took the NBA about that much time. My father played in the NBA, and so he was in those early stages, and I was in the early stages of the WNBA. So it takes time for not only leagues to build up, but also for the support around them, the sponsorship around them. And I think we're on the cusp of seeing the money start to roll in for these women. You've got incredible players like Caitlin Clark, who will be coming out shortly into the WNBA, and I think her notoriety is just going to, accentuate the league and bring more sponsorship and eyes on everything that we're doing.
Increased viewership as well. What do
Yes.
you attribute that to?
I think just the awareness. People are realizing the WNBA is here to stay. They're starting to watch. More and more people are coming into, so many of our Vegas community, they would say this is their first time they've ever seen him play, and they're hooked. And so it just takes people time to realize this is really incredible basketball. And I think we're there.
Kelsey Plum said something about, on the topic of bringing up Kelsey Plum again, about NBA pay versus WNBA pay. And she said, we're not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared. Is that the real issue here?
I see both sides. So I see the player side, especially being a former player, and I do see the backside of it because I am involved in meetings, you know, with the WNBA. So yes, it would be nice to get the percentage that they get. I mean, if you had all WNBA players making anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million, I don't think they'd have to go overseas. And that would be great. And I think we're, like I said, I really think we're almost there.
That's awesome. So next year's roster, you have Asia Wilson signed through 2025, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray through 2024, also Kia Stokes through 2024?
No, Alicia Clark.
Okay, all right. So you've got most of your core intact, right? What about Candace Parker? Is she coming back?
I hope so. Really, it's going to be up to Candace and how her body feels. And we'll probably know more as it gets closer in January, but she's been through a battle with her body and all the stuff she's done in her life. And whether she doesn't or does come back, I mean, we'd love her to, but what an incredible young woman and all that she's accomplished. And she's just been a bright spot to the whole community and throughout women's basketball and everything she's done. And
that's what she's continued to say is, if I'm in pain, I'm just not going to do it again because I've already been doing it. You can relate to that.
100% I can relate to that.
Do you remember those days, thinking
Yes.
that same, what was your thought process?
Gosh, I think I retired when I was probably 34, so around her age. And it's the constant days after practice, after shoot around, after games in the ice bath, you know, from the waist down. And it gets to a point where you just don't feel like it's worth it anymore because your body is in so much pain. So I know Candace feels like that at times. And so we'll just, I mean, she's a warrior. We'll see if she wants to go one more, but she does have 3 championships and going out on one is pretty cool.
Speaking of Candace Parker, she told the Associated Press that one of the major reasons she came to the Aces was because of their brand new $40 million state-of-the-art practice facility in Henderson. What kind of advantage has that given you as you recruit players?
Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, getting to show our free agents what they get to practice in every day, the fact that they have a hot and cold, you know, the whirlpool, the cryo tank, you know, a sauna in there, massage chairs that massage your entire body. It's pretty special that they get their own locker that they can keep stuff in all year. And
that's
now
something that didn't exist.
It did not exist and does not exist for any other team currently.
Because this is the first of its kind in all the WNBA.
Yes, but hopefully everyone, and I know we have the advantage right now, but really I hope that everyone in the WNBA has this eventually because they all deserve it.
Yeah, and it's going to make them more competitive as well. I think the Seattle Storm are building one. I read that the Phoenix Mercury as well.
And Chicago.
And Chicago, okay, following suit. So 12 teams total in the WNBA, but 2025 there will be 13 as the Golden State Warriors have been granted an expansion team. What do you know about the expansion draft? What will it entail?
Well, we haven't got all the logistics yet, but most likely we will be able to secure, you know, 5 or 6, I think 6 players is what. And so that draft will happen probably after this season.
That's all. 5 or 6 is what you'll be able to hold on to.
Yes.
That's gotta, how does that make you feel?
Well, you know, I understand expansion drafts, but I think they'll only be able to take 1 player from our team. But, you know, I mean, we're happy that the league is expanding and Golden State will be an incredible place to have a team. And we do hope that there is one more added as well.
Right. Portland, is that what you're pulling for?
I mean, really, it doesn't matter to me. I just want it to be a great basketball community that will thrive and be a good basketball WNBA city.
All right, and while the WNBA is expanding, the NBA may also expand with a team likely in Las Vegas. What kind of impact do you think that would have on the Aces if an NBA team moved here?
Well, this is such an incredible entertainment city, and I know that LeBron has talked about bringing a team here. He is my all-time favorite.
Okay.
All-time favorite NBA player, so I would be all for it. My daughters love his sons, so she would be in heaven, but I think it would just be great for this city to bring not only an NBA team, I know we're getting a baseball team here soon as well. So, I mean, it just brings more notoriety to Las Vegas and one more thing for people to go see.
It doesn't take attention away from the Aces?
I don't think so. I think whoever plays in the city on that Las Vegas NBA team will constantly support the Aces, and that will be kind of cool to have all those guys at our games.
And you have met LeBron.
I haven't.
What?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
I do have a signed jersey though.
Okay.
That was a gift from Nike.
That's going to have to happen.
I know.
I mean, with your history.
We got to make that happen.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, he's incredible.
Just for people who don't know, you are a dual athlete in UCLA championships in volleyball and basketball?
Yes.
An All-American in both sports in the same year. I think the first female to ever do that.
Yep, kind of crazy.
Big stuff, big stuff. LeBron should want to meet you, Natalie.
Yes, yeah.
In the meantime, thank you for joining Nevada Week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.